I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
So we want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. And most of all, we thank you for Roush and Yates partnering to give us the power that we see before us tonight. Thank you for GM Performance Technology and the R07 engines. Thank you for Sunoco Racing Fuel and Goodyear tires that bring performance and power to the track. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. My two children, Eli and Emma, or as we like to call them, the little E's. Lord, I pray you bless the drivers and use them tonight. May they put on a performance worthy of this great track. In Jesus' name, boogity, 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 amen.
All right, welcome back everyone to RR After Dark, the official podcast of the iRacing League Racing Revolution. I am your host and driver of the number 14 Slurp Sodas Ford Mustang, Michael Bennett. Today we have Mr. Justice Murphy driving the number 12 All About Bugs Chevy Camaro. Mr. Kevin Orlando Jr., driver of the number 27 Starry Ford Mustang. And Mr. Nicholas Alves, driver of the number 24 Coastal Financial Chevy Camaro. We might have Trevor join us here in just a bit, but maybe not. He said it's kind of spotty, so we'll see. So today we're going to talk about, I guess our guest, he's going to come on and talk about some things. We're going to talk about a little bit of IRL racing. And then pretty much just about the league, and then any other little sprinkled categories we feel like throwing in there. So without further ado, our guest for the evening is Mr. Travis Gilbert, driver of the Vet to Track number 22 Ford Mustang. Travis, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, dude. Well, let's jump right into it. Let's go ahead and get straight on to Vet to Track. I think that's what most of us, when we hear your name, we think about. We're always interested to talk about it and to hear you kind of explain it. So jump right into it.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, Vet to Track is an organization that was created by a guy that I deployed with named Jim Whittam. And he was overseas as my NCOIC, and he was always a people person. However, when he got back to the States, he battled with PTSD like so many veterans do when they return home from a combat tour. So he got to a low point in his life, and he kind of went to a track day, and he's been a motorcycle enthusiast his whole life. He likes two wheels while we like four wheels, the safety of the roll cage instead of that open, arms and getting thrown off the bike and high siding. I'm good on all that, but that's his thrill. That's what he likes to do. So as he was going and being a part of a track day, one of the thoughts crossed his mind, well, if I like this and this takes my mentality and my mindset away from all my daily struggles, what other things can veterans benefit from if I start an organization where track days and getting vets to the track with Moto America with the partnerships, he just started doing his thing of what Jim does, planning and being a people person. He's a really super nice guy, and he's always been really friendly. And so he wants to help vets because he discovered that going to the track saved his life.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's great. Yeah, I'm actually a big MotoGP fan, Moto America. I enjoy that stuff too. So I can definitely see how somebody gets out there and just kind of takes your mind off everything. But that's really awesome. So how long has that been going on for?
So he got back stateside, and it took him a few years to plan it. a Marine and I were the first two people to go to Road America under the Vet to Track banner and participate with the Moto America privateer teams. Because most of the Moto America teams are professional race teams, but then you have your privateers, and the
Yeah.
privateers are the ones that are low budget, don't have no team members, you know. So Jim partnered up with a few of them. So I got to go and work a part of that in 2020 after the whole COVID stuff. So that was quite an experience, you know. Road America was my first time to a road course track, let alone first time to a motorcycle race. And I completely get it. I forgot about all of my struggles of PTSD and everything for the weekend. We got there on a Thursday. Our trip started off really horrible. We started off Wednesday, and just like being overseas and getting blowed up in our convoys, we started off with the toy hauler actually becoming dislodged from the dually. So we
Oof.
oh yeah. So it was kind of like one of them things. Jim looked at me and he's like, "Well, it's because you're here." Like, yeah, I figured that much because getting blowed up overseas by IEDs, that was kind of something. I attracted trouble, I guess. Me, Major Bossy, and some other people, is what it is. But anyway, so that's how that trip started out. It started out with us with the toy hauler on the road, having to get picked up by a, what are they? A towing company, one of them heavy duty semi towing companies.
Oof.
So we made it to Road America, and honestly, man, I mean, the camaraderie of being a part of a race team, you guys get it. We do the Discord thing, we do the iRacing community, and we talk amongst each other. We have that camaraderie where we can vent to each other, and you just feel connected because we have similar interests, similar passions. Well, you go to Vet to Track Day if you're a veteran, or even if you're a volunteer, because if you go to store.vettotrack.org, it's not just for veterans who are getting to experience it. It's for family members and civilians who want to go partake in the Vet to Track and give back. And they can go volunteer to work the booth and everything and spread the word and, go do the vendor thing. So there's that too. So I highly recommend people go check out the store.vettotrack.org website. That will give you a lot of options. And also, if you know a veteran, you can nominate them for a track day, or you can nominate them to go be a part of the pit crew experience. So he's got a really good program going. I know a lot of people are, detail oriented towards getting veterans more and more back into the community with the reintegration. However, you don't see a lot of them doing it with motorsports. So that's what I really like about Vet to Track.
No, I like that. That's actually was going to be one of my questions that I was going to ask you, but you kind of answered it about non-veterans if they do have interest, if they can partake or volunteer, like you were saying. So that's kind of cool because I know a lot of people that are in military families that aren't in the military but have members in the military. They're always looking to give back any way they can because they're part of, like you said, that camaraderie of that military family. So it's really cool that Vet to Track not only is for veterans, but it's also for other civilians, like you were saying.
Yeah, it's our success on getting veterans reintegrated are not just related to military specific people. It's related to the civilians welcoming us back and getting us reacclimated, and also wanting to see the daily struggles. Like this past, I've done Heroes on the Dunes twice now in Silver Lake, Michigan, which is not just for vets, but it's for service first responders and like police and all that stuff, fire, rescue, and all that. So Heroes on the Dunes is another great cause, but that's only one weekend over in Silver Lake, Michigan. While I was up there, like the majority of the people that I talked to didn't even hear of Vet to Track, even though it's a Michigan-based organization. That's where Jim operates out of, is Lansing, Michigan. People just down the road in Silver Lake had never even heard of Vet to Track. So it's something that, so I got talking to them about it, and they're like, "Oh, that is so cool. I want to partake in it." And then the Heroes on the Dunes wasn't just the service members; it was also the family members. So many people were interested; they wanted to go partake in that. They thought it would be cool to go serve, veterans, and like that's what we're trying to do, is get this out here and promote it so veterans have something to be able to go to not every day or every week, but something to go to and have that camaraderie when they need to. Our phones don't always ring. They're not always ringing off the hook, or they're not always getting text messages, but we're trying to create a community with Vet to Track that as we expose ourselves throughout the United States, if one person is having trouble, we have a group of people that can come in and help rescue whatever it is. Because in the motorsports, people always refer to motorsports being a close knit family. Well, here we are with Vet to Track. We got two close knit families. We got veterans, and then we got motorsports lovers. So it's like best of both worlds, if you ask me, here in our country.
Now you said Vet to Track goes to all the MotoGP events, right, throughout the year?
Y- yep.
Okay,
So
perfect.
now a lot of that is budget dependent.
Mhm.
However, we're as of the last few years, he's been able to do that. So, and thankfully to everybody that's donated. And by the way, you can go to store.vet2track.org, and it doesn't matter if you donate $1 or you donate as much as you can. Every bit helps towards getting a veteran, which costs $500 to get a vet to go and be sponsored at what's called a Vet to Track Day, and it's specifically for veterans. Now they have track days over in Michigan where you can go as even an enthusiast rider and you can go get on the track and stuff. And Vet to Track does that too, but they have specific days dedicated to Vet to Track members only, and that's where it costs $500 to sponsor a Vet to Track or a veteran to get on the track, where they actually experience the whole entire thing of learning to ride a motorcycle, getting to go out and be coached, and all that stuff. So
Did you answer all my questions I was gonna ask you? I was literally my next
Hey,
question.
he's good.
My
He's
next question
good.
I was literally gonna say is, if we have a veteran that's a motorsport fan but has no idea how to drive a motorcycle, what are the steps? And thank you, dude. You're like the most informative guest we've had so far.
well, I'm definitely super passionate about the Vet to Track organization, and I want to thank Trevor Keith for the super sweet race car that I get to race now. It's awesome. I love repping that Vet to Track race car. It's so badass, and I'm sorry if don't want to cuss, but it's a super sweet
Let it
We're
fly,
way
bro.
past that,
Let it
dude.
fly.
Yeah, we're way
Yeah.
past that.
Oh, man.
So.
It is.
Have you
I
listened
love
to our
that
past
PC.
episodes?
Yeah, but you know me, I'm just trying to be respectful in all manners. That I love, and getting a nice scheme for Vet to Track was very hard because of the Vet to Track logos and everything. But I think Trevor Keith nailed it, knocked it out of the park.
Oh, hey,
That's
shout out
awesome.
TK.
Nobody
Yeah.
likes DK.
Oh, and the
Okay.
other and the
I don't know
other
about
Trevor
that.
is
There's the
here.
Baldy.
So when you
Glad you
guys
made
got
it.
a moment, I'd like to give a testimony of one of the Vet to Track guys that went out on the Vet to Track tour, and he gave a Vet to Track review. So when you guys want to fit that in, I'd love
No,
to,
go right
Dude,
ahead,
run
dude.
it
Do
now.
right
Go
now.
right
You got
ahead.
it, man.
That
This
works.
is all about you.
Not
All
bugs.
right, so this
all
is
about
going
you.
to be a lot of reading, so just bear
It's
with
all
me
good,
for a
dude.
minute.
All
So
good.
All
this
good.
this is what Vet to Track represents to me and to the veterans and to the people that have been a part of the organization so far. So here it goes. PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, is a mental health condition that can occur after a person has experienced or witnessed a traumatic event, such as a natural disaster, a car accident, or military combat. Symptoms of PTSD can include flashbacks, anxiety, depression, and difficulty with emotional regulation. For some individuals with PTSD, riding a motorcycle can have a therapeutic effect. The focus and concentration required to ride can help to distract from the symptoms of PTSD and provide a sense of control and accomplishment. Now, before I go on, I've done in real life racing, and the only time that I've ever got close to the focus and the level of adrenaline flowing through my veins, like I was overseas on 2 combat tours, was when I was behind the wheel of a race car. It didn't matter if it was a UMP mod, it didn't matter if it was a dirt micro sprint 600, didn't matter if it's a Dorf car. When you focus in, you get strapped in, that level of detail, your life is literally on the line in a real life race car. So it's the most similar. And that's why that phrase right there about PTSD can provide a sense of control and accomplishment. It's the same as being overseas, because when you survive battle over there, it is like a sense of accomplishment. However, you deal with real life situations on a daily basis. So that adrenaline and that hyper focus, that hyper vigilance is the only thing that I've ever been close is in a real life race car. I can only imagine it's way even more intensified in a motorcycle because you're in the open world. You don't have a roll cage to protect you when shit goes wrong.
That's why I don't ride.
Yeah. I'll tell
To
you
be
a
honest,
story
it
too about
scares me
Jim.
too much.
I'll tell you a story here in a little bit about Jim when he got back and he was going to drill one weekend as a motorcycle on his motorcycle, and a helmet and how I don't understand why people ride without a helmet. Anyways, the physical demands of riding can also release endorphins, leading to a sense of well-being and relaxation. So I don't know if you guys know this, but after we're done racing 200 laps at Richmond, I'm wore out, but I have endorphins flowing through my blood. I'm pumped. I need a what we call a decompression phase in the military because I'm like the endorphins are rushing. It's awesome. It's I get why Jim chose the motorsports avenue for the vet to track, and it works out perfectly. In addition, the sense of freedom and independence that comes with motorcycling can be particularly appealing for individuals with PTSD who may feel overwhelmed by crowded or enclosed spaces. What's more freeing than being on a 3.3-mile track and it's just you in the air and the motorcycle, the big machine? Them things they terrify the crap out of me, way more than 1,000 horsepower wing sprint car or four-wheel anything. Them motorcycles scare the living daylights out of me. The open air and sense of adventure that come with riding a motorcycle can provide a sense of escape and can help to reduce anxiety and stress. I don't know about you guys, but after racing in our RR league on a Wednesday, I'm stressed because usually things go bad for me, but I feel like a release of stress at the same time. Like I love strapping into the rig to get ready to race. I love the butterflies, the adrenaline. And then afterwards, don't matter how the race ended, I'm still ready to go for some more.
Oh, I can't wait for Wednesday nights every week.
All the way
I
up
was-
until I hear Nick yelling, "No!"
Yeah.
You know we have a thing for
And
that.
In addition, the sense of freedom and independence that comes with motorcycling can be particularly appealing for individuals. I already read that. My bad. It's important to note that motorcycling may not be suitable for everyone with PTSD. So the problem with some people with PTSD is the loud backfires and stuff. They scare them and everything. So if you know somebody that's like overly traumatized by that, like maybe this isn't a good situation. So you might want to reach out to them first before nominating somebody. So the pit crew experience is something that um is unrivaled, right? Because you are actually working in a high pace environment to where like that what I just read you was about the vet to track days, but the pit crew experience is something totally different. You're working a part of a team, you got that camaraderie, you have a mission in mind and you're working towards it. So you kind of forget about all the other things because you feel like when you're on a racetrack, you're in a mission overseas, and the mission is to accomplish the best racing position as possible for your team, right? So the PTSD part of the pit crew experience, you have loud noises and stuff, but the race car or the motorcycle sounds don't bother you as much because you're not focused on it. Like you're focused on your team. When you're overseas, when shit's blowed up, bombs are going off, rounds are flying by, comms are all jammed, people are in a panic. Like that's what we excel at. So in the pits of a motorcycle Moto America race, they're down there thrashing. So you don't really pay attention to the loud noises. So I would say anybody that is particularly standoffish because of the noises, you don't really have to be worried about it because your focus would be elsewhere. However, I still want to put that warning out there because there are some people that are affected by it tremendously.
While you're on the topic of the pit crew days, what do the veterans get to do as part of the pit crew there? Could you go into that a little more? Because I am
So that's a
honestly
good
curious.
Okay, Kevin. So that's a great question. A lot of it depends on your skill level. However, man, veterans with no skill levels that have never worked on a motorcycle or even rid one, they go and they get on these private teams like Noah Lampkin and other teams that are private tiers that are low budget, and they start doing tire warmers. Like, all right, so motorcycles like F1 cars, they have tire warmers on them. So they'll get showed how to put tire warmers on, so they'll be in control of the tire warmers. Maybe they'll take the bike to go get inspected, or they'll go pick up that's new tires and get them mounted and dismounted while the crew members are, you never know what happens. Like some people crash or blow up, or you never know. Some people have mechanical experience to where, like me, I got to work on the bike from front tire to rear tire. It didn't matter. Like I got the full pit crew experience of what somebody who doesn't have a full-time crew would have to do as a privateer team. So like if you and I showed up to a team and we're the only two, I got that full experience of it. Like changing tires, dismounting tires, learning tire warmers, learning the fact that motorcycle engines rev like an F1 car and can take an abuse that I've never seen before, and putting on safety release like wires, so because bolts vibrate, believe it or not, on them things. They actually, I've seen them vibrate where they came out on the motorcycle.
They use
Sean
safety
Hill.
wire like aircraft?
Not aircraft, but like chicken wire and stuff. Like you'll drill a hole out into a bolt or into a screw or something that's vibrated itself out, and you'll put chicken wire around it to make sure that if it falls out again, it doesn't hit the ground, and now you know you got to go back and fix it. So
Okay.
it's dangling in front of your face. I didn't know that before because we don't do that on 4-wheel cars.
No,
Usually you don't
not
got
at
to
all.
worry about
We
that.
just let that shit
much.
fall off and we'll patch it later.
There's a reason we
Yeah.
have more than one lug nut on the car.
No.
NASCAR. There's a
So-
reason we have more than one.
I learned that trail braking doesn't be the same in a motorcycle as it does in a 4-wheel car. So going to Moto America, Jim he's a racing enthusiast, but we have different descriptions and terminology. Like, you know, IndyCar calls it tire degradation, while we just call it tire wear, you know. So it was that kind of stuff. Learning that trail braking is used for a different purpose than what 4-wheels are. So, and this is stuff that you get to, like, just normal talking, the camaraderie. You get the full blown, like Sean, the guy that I worked with, he had never had anybody take a video of him riding because he never had nobody at the track. It was just him and his wife. So, and his wife is running his pit board down the pit wall, so she can't be in the corners. At Road America, there's like 20 different corners at that track. So I went throughout the day or throughout the weekend and I took video of him at each portion of the track. And he was like, he came back to the pits and he's like, wow, I've never had anybody do that for me before. And it really helped him improve his lap times. So that's a hint out to anybody who's listening or gets this, is if you want and you're not working on the motorcycle, go sneak off to a part of the racetrack and where they're struggling with and videotape for them, you know. That's the kind of, but I've grew up around racing my whole life, so that was first nature for me, second nature, I guess. But yeah, they get the full experience from feeling it up, and it also comes with their comfort level. I mean, some people are not maybe as comfortable as I am doing all that stuff. So I'm a racer, true and true. When I'm working on a car with somebody, I'm dead serious loyal to them. I'm as passionate about them winning as if it was me riding or driving myself.
Now, I know that maybe skipping ahead here because there's something we want to talk about, but since you talked about in real life racing with yourself and growing up, how did you get into iRacing?
So I came back from Iraq, and all of my Xbox friends had pretty much disappeared because I'd been gone. So iRacing is something that I started back in, I think, 2008 when I got back, or actually I was deploying, and I had a controller and the controller just wasn't working. I couldn't figure it out. So it kind of sucked. So I sold all my stuff and I went overseas and I came back and I was in between deployments and I was like, well, I want to do some racing. So, and NASCAR 09 was pretty much gone. They took it off the server. So iRacing was what I got to, and that's what I've been racing since then. Now, I've lost a couple accounts because I deployed, like I lost the email addresses and stuff, and I couldn't remember the information. So that's why this one is Travis G. Gilbert instead of just Travis Gilbert. But like people think that I've been banned from iRacing or anything. No, I've never been. I've had a 3-month voice suspension for telling someone if we were at a real racetrack that I would, you know what, like I would, you know, but they didn't ban me from iRacing, they banned me from voice chat, but no, like, so I've lost a couple of iRacing accounts that had some pretty significant good numbers on them, you know, win wise, top fives and stuff because of deployments. But that's how I started, was coming back from deployments. NASCAR 09 was down off the server, which I really enjoyed running with my friends before I deployed. You know, I think, am I the only one that raced 09? Did you guys race 09 on console?
I did
On
not.
console,
No,
yeah.
they
Not
didn't.
me.
Wasn't console the total. I may be wrong here, but the total team control one.
Team control.
No,
I think
that was
10.
04, 05. No,
Oh, was that
okay, gotcha.
09 is the last one that EA ever made, and that's when NASCAR console racing started going down the
okay,
crappers.
gotcha.
So
The last one I played was 08.
okay, so that's how I got into iRacing, and then I had some friends that were like, "Oh, that's way too expensive," so they stayed with console. So that's like I still did NASCAR Heat and U Technics and all that stuff, and be like, I don't want to talk about the nightmares. So, but iRacing has been the predominant form of racing for me because it's the closest that you get to, you get in whatever car you want to go whatever track that you want, as long as you buy it, as long as you go and spend that money.
Exactly.
Anyways, what other form of racing? You can't get on a console and go do IMCA or IMSA or do IndyCar at Michigan or
You gotta buy all
Daytona.
different. You gotta
Yeah.
buy all different games if you want to do all those.
So
Where
yeah,
else
this
can you
is.
take a dirt sprint car around the Nürburgring? I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, like is that even possible? Like, but
I
like, that
did
would.
it once. It was a big mistake. It took me 17 minutes, but I did it.
I mean,
Jesus
running
Christ.
late models at Watkins Glen kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally, iRacing lets you immerse yourself in real racing, and like Kevin said, you can literally try any car at any track. As long
Do
as you
stupid
own it,
stuff.
as long as you own it, like you were saying, Travis, you can try whatever you want on the server, and I think that's one thing that iRacing does really well with their service in their community.
You could be serious and you could be silly.
Yeah.
So when I first started iRacing, I was big into the super late models. That's what I love the super late models. Around here, it's the outlaw late models, but they don't have the outlaw late models in the racing. So the super late models were the closest, the sound and the feel and everything. So that's what I got into iRacing for. Was I loved the super late models. That was the division that I ran, and then of course I love the NASCAR, the AFIX. So that was the goal, was to get to the licensing. But now we're stuck with this damn next gen car.
I guess you're not a fan.
I was about to say, take it, he's not a fan.
Listen, it's a road course race that we're racing. It's a road course car that was made after the Australian V8 supercar. No, I'm not a fan. I grew up in the Gen 4 era when the Winston Cup series was still the Winston Cup, when we still had the Attitude era in WWE, So I got that American Outlaw, lookout, like, the Renegades, the Outlaw, what NASCAR was made from. Look, the Moonshiners, the Rebels, the Rascals, the Renegades, the Outlaws, people who defied the law. That's kind of why I have the attitude I have. I stand out. I kind of tell it how it is and everything. So the appeal of NASCAR back then was huge for a kid like me, because that's the generation that I grew up in.
Yeah, this car is just it's a combo of a V8 supercar and a like a GT4 car,
Which is
something you
not.
see in the Michelin Pilot Challenge, like the way it's suspended, the way it corners, and
What
the
says
way
NASCAR about it?
I mean, other than the fact that
The
it's
name.
a Toyota, Chevy, and Ford out there, nothing really.
We could use a Dodge.
Yeah. All right. Well, normally we're just dodging Kevin, so that's our dodge on track.
There's enough dodging going on. Well, Travis, you've got a race later in the year coming up, a charity race. You want to get into that?
Yeah, so thank you to you guys for Racing Revolution and reaching out and wanting to do the charity race. Now, this opportunity came available after we lost Staff Sergeant Greer, Carlo Greer, and oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, take your time, buddy.
Me and Jim deployed with Carlo, and he was a specialist at the time, and he was our comm guy, and he's got a lot of me in him, I guess. That's why we got along. Really funnier though, way funny guy. And after we lost him to suicide, you guys reached out and asked if I wanted to do a charity event for him, and I appreciate you guys. And so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a charity event for Vet to Track and Staff Sergeant Carlo Greer and dedicate it to him.
Nice. When is that race?
When is that, guys?
It's gonna be in the middle of November. After our season is over, we're going to come together and see
Oh,
what
it's the very
track.
last one.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
the last. It's the last.
Okay.
It's after
Okay. The
Phoenix, after the
fifth.
championship.
15th.
Yeah,
It-
15th.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're
Okay.
gonna. The track is to be determined. We're probably gonna get with Travis most likely to figure out what his favorite track or what track he thinks would best represent Veta track. So we can go race there and, like you said, go give back to Veta track and all the veterans that mean so much to all of us and all the sacrifice they did. And we do appreciate you, Travis, for allowing us to do this and accepting the offer that we sent out to you to do this. So we do appreciate you, and us as a league, we always try to take care of our own, like you were saying. So we're very happy to do it.
I'm so appreciative of you guys for that. And I hope Jim is able to. I'm gonna send him the link to this, and hopefully it gets spread out throughout a lot of people. And that charity event is a huge hit for everybody, and not just us as racers, but the veterans and the service members that haven't gone overseas, plus the families. And this race will be dedicated to Carlo's mom for sure. And I hope she gets this video. And anyways, after we lost him in January, I reached out to you guys and wanted to change my car number from 41 to 22 for 22 veterans commit suicide a day, and that's why my car number is 22. It's not to represent Joey Logano or anything like that, what Patrick thought at Richmond or whatever.
the yellow Pennzoil scheme was just a coincidence.
Yeah. So was it when he said that he hoped I got wrecked too, right?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And then Trevor punts me into the inside wall off turn 2.
Uh,
Anyway,
you
so
don't Trevor punting somebody. You
Wait,
don't,
which
so-
one? Which one?
Baldy, Baldy
You.
for sure.
Yeah,
I
you.
mean,
You may as well call you Pat McAfee at this point. Well, you punt.
hey,
people.
I'm good at punting people. What can I say?
but at that point, it just made sense. It just hit me. I was sitting here and reminiscing and going through some of the pictures of Carlo and I, and the pictures of him and what he did for everybody. And it just hit me. It's like, Travis, you need to race 22, man. For 22 veterans commit suicide a day, man. Usually I race 341, but a lot of people don't want the 3 digits because my nickname's American Outlaw, and the 3 is a substitute for the E, and 41 is a substitute for the T and the L and Outlaw. So usually that's why I race either 341 or 41, is to kind of rep my nickname moniker. However, after the loss of Carlo, it made sense. Like, dude, you're already representing Vet the Track. Let's do the 22 veterans commit suicide a day. Obviously, I haven't been able to get into the top 3 to put any highlight on it, so I'm glad to be able to bring that up and bring some attention to it here, because we're losing veterans to where actually they say 22 a day until there is none now. So that's a new phrase they have going on.
Damn. Well, I know it's tough to talk about, and we all do really appreciate you talking about it. And thanks for, I know the number 22 is very meaningful to you. And at first, actually, none of us actually knew why you actually were changing it. So when we first heard about it, we were like, wow, it's a great idea, and it's a great thing that you're doing to change your number to 22.
Yeah, I didn't do it because of Logano or anything. I did it for the sincere reason that we're losing too many veterans a day, and if we keep losing them, we're not going to have any more. And then, the purpose of the Vet to Track, the purpose of all the things that we have, there's a lot of like Hero on the Dunes and stuff like that. They're reaching out to veterans and trying to save people's lives through that, to get them out and get them amongst the people who share similar interests and, life stories, and they were willing to put their life on the line. And some of them suffered physical like they missing limbs, man. So it's not just about mental awareness. Some of these guys and gals have literally gave up the ability to throw a football or run with their kids, So yeah, it means a lot to me. So it just made sense to switch. And I hope that I need to do a better job of getting into the top 3 to put some highlighting and some getting the information out there. But I know you guys do a great job and you guys get a lot of views and stuff. So I hope this gets out there, and I hope people at least are able to go over and check out the Vet to Track merch and, get something from it.
Definitely. We're gonna do the best we can to get this out to the people, and hopefully a lot of people do actually reach out or or go visit everything. And then obviously during when we do the charity race, we're gonna be setting that out on all our socials and everything, and promoting that very, very highly. So little left turn here. A little bit of real life racing. Do you have certain? I know you touched on Joey Logano, so I'm assuming it's not him. But do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite driver in real life,
Yes.
ever?
So I grew up 7 miles from MIS in a little town called Napoleon. My grandpa worked out there for Roger Penske for 33 years. My mom's sitting here next to me as we do this, and she grew up
Oh, hi,
running
Mom.
around that racetrack. They say hi. uh, so she grew up running around that racetrack, and I grew up running around that racetrack. So Roger Penske has always been a good friend of my grandpa's, and so my family has always been Roger Penske oriented. So with that being said, the Blue Deuce, Roger Penske, Rusty Wallace, Ryan Newman, Jeremy Mayfield, them were always the drivers that I pulled for. Rusty being my main guy. I worked out at the racetrack, got his autograph, met him, hung out, like been all over the racetrack. Like so, Penske has always been like IndyCar. I root for Penske. Uh, Out in IMSA when they did IMSA, I root for Penske. So when Rusty retired in '05, the the Outlaw Kurt Busch came in and replaced him. So Kurt became my dude. And so I went from Rusty to Kurt, and I followed Kurt. And when Kurt left Penske, I went with Kurt, which was unheard of. Like I didn't like any, like I liked Brad because he was from Michigan, which is one of my home state, where I was born and raised. Now I live in Indiana, so between the two, they're my home states. But so Brad, I liked Brad, but I was always a Kurt fan after that. So wasn't a Kurt fan when he was in Roush. Let's make that clear. Didn't like him when he took the '04 championship, but '06 he was my dude. So I rocked with him until last year when this next gen car and NASCAR policies, you guys know what it did to him, same as it did to Alex Bowman, some of the other drivers. It maimed him. It cut his career short. So
Yeah, a little worse at his age than Bowman's age.
absolutely. And so now I don't have a driver. I don't like any of them. They're not appealing to me. They don't have the outlaw moniker. They're not that rage over the radio, that fire. I miss the Kurt Busch of the Roush, and when he told Penske his car sucked in 2011 at Richmond. Not many people had the balls enough to tell Roger Penske, the captain, that his cars suck and they drive like dump trucks. But that was the key that NASCAR for Penske on that side. That's how Brad Kay won the 2012 championship. I put my hand on the Bible, swear to it. It was because Kurt Busch had the audacity and the boldness to tell Roger Penske that he couldn't bring IndyCar engineers over to NASCAR and be successful. And he was right. When they flipped that and they started putting more effort towards NASCAR, Brad Kay won, the first NASCAR championship for Roger. Even though Rusty and Kurt won a lot of races, and so did Ryan Newman, they never won a championship. And
I always
so
forget
I
Rusty never won a championship because he was he's a
It's so
legend.
good.
He's a
Dude,
legend. I can't believe it.
and 93 dominated. And the only reason why they didn't win a championship was because Todd Parrott left Roger Penske and went to Dale Jarrett to Robert Yates Racing because he wanted to
I
be
was
a
gonna
crew chief.
I was
So,
gonna say the only reason they didn't win is because Dale Senior was racing at the same time.
It's
yeah,
also part of it. Yeah.
That
Why-
didn't help. A
it's
lot
not-
of good
not-
drivers that era.
I have a funny story for you. My mom's right here, and she'll remember this story. I think it was I was like 7 years old, so it had to be 1994. We're out to MIS. My mom and dad are pitting, or they're over in the waiting to get into the infield, the camp. They're over in the campgrounds waiting to get in. My mom was a Davey Allison fan. My stepdad was a Dale Earnhardt fan. My brother DJ was a Dale Jr. or Dale Jarrett fan because he had DJ, and my little brother Brandon was a Jeff Gordon fan. My mom and my stepdad, they were out of Rusty Wallace collectibles because Rusty was popular in Michigan at MIS because of the Penske and Penske owning the track and everything. My mom and my stepdad decided to buy me a Dale Earnhardt Senior diecast, which is the worst thing to do. I took it right in front of them out of the package and chucked it as far as I could into the open field.
Oh
man.
god.
They were pissed at me, so mad, but I could not stand Dale Sr. because I was a Rusty fan. And as a Rusty fan, we had been on the wrong end of too many of Dale Sr.'s antics, kind of like I've been on the wrong end of too many Rob Raider antics.
There it is. There it
Knew
is.
that was coming at some
All
point.
right.
I love it. Listen,
So-
I'm gonna say this about Kurt Busch, like circling back. That Darlington rant on the radio when he was in the 51 car is probably one of my favorite radio transmissions ever.
I love it. I love how fiery and passionate he was. I mean, that just showed his true like wanting it. And I love this saying where they talked about Kyle Busch that, and this is Larry McReynolds saying about Kyle Busch that he hates losing more than he enjoys winning, and that's how I feel. I hate losing more than I enjoy winning. I love winning, but I hate losing even more.
But you're so good at it.
I know I'm really good at beating
Oh,
myself. ain't I?
damn.
I mean, it's
Jesus.
I'm a top 5, be running in the top 5, and all of a sudden, I'll tell you what though, I never give up, and at one time or another, throughout the race, even though you see me at the back of the pack, you'll see me find my way back to the front, only to find myself to the back at the end when it matters.
Hey
I'm gonna
man,
tell
I'll
you
be the
what.
first to admit you're faster than I am. That's for damn sure. You
There's no team in the NRR that practices their mid-race donuts quite like Go for Broke most of the time.
But it fits the
Holy
name,
cow.
man. But, like, you can't call us Go for Broke Racing without seeing us literally go for it every single lap, you know?
From 3rd or 4th or 5th, somebody's spinning.
There ain't
Well,
no quit on this team. Ain't no quit.
At
No.
Richmond, I think all 3 of us did. It was Tay, then me, because I looked
Y'all,
up.
y'all all did it on the same lap.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Within one turn, mind you.
yeah, it was
Synchronized.
Tay
incredible.
did it at the beginning of the straightaway. You did it at the end of the straightaway. And
TK did it in the middle of the
TK
corner.
died in turn 1. I'm just like, dude, that's the whole team. And I'm sitting there watching it in my mirror. I'm just like, now
can't-
what?
When you guys decided Go for Broke, it couldn't have been a better name for us. I mean,
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I should have put broke in bold.
Yeah.
Jeez.
there's not a more exciting team to watch, I suppose, because we'll be running up front, and then all of us will be at back, then we'll be up front, and then we'll all be at the back. Like, what you guys need to keep track of is how many cars we pass in a race. Now, that's the stat I want to know. Not who passed the most from the beginning of the race, who passed the most cars throughout the race. That's what I'd like to know.
How many
So you're gonna
times
have
have
some
you passed
competition with the
Justice
18
Murphy
car.
tonight?
Yeah, exactly.
At Richmond, I think I got the job done 3 times before there was no more opportunities. And I was proud of us, Justice. I really was. You know, I told my friend Terry in tweet, I'm like, man, and even in the Go for Broke chat, I'm like, man, I just want to finish a race without me and Justice having some kind of contact that results in me getting major damage.
Yeah. Oh man, Pocono, and I don't know. Your car seemed to come out fine. I was 50 RPMs down even after the repairs were done. That one's probably the worst. I think we both got the worst of that one. But yeah, nah,
It was getting hit by everybody who didn't know where to go. Like, I was
Yeah.
literally the ping pong ball where it just kept getting, like, there was a point to where I think I just wanted to let go of the brake because it didn't matter if I held the brake or not. I was still getting shoved around. So it was like, okay, well, this sucks. But hey, you know, it was just, we're all really, like we were talking before the show. RR may be the most difficult league. Like, it's basically like going in and joining an iRacing official race with everybody the same skill level as you are. Like, it is so hard. It is one of the most difficult leagues I've ever been a part of.
we were talking about that earlier. Bennett ran an A fixed right before I got online earlier and won it. And the SOF was not great, but it just, I mean, he's used to racing in the SOF of the league, which Wednesday night at Richmond was almost 2,500. So that made it a lot easier when you're in a split that's less than that. You're sitting there going, well, I can definitely beat all of these guys.
Oh yeah, you just
That's how it
drive from the
feels.
field. Yeah, you just drive from the field. Well, Travis, you said you didn't have a favorite driver. What about track?
Wait, hold on. He already answered this.
What?
I guarantee he already
Michigan.
answered this.
With me? Okay, all right.
Michigan.
I didn't-
I'm
I-
assuming
Mich-
it's Michigan.
Michigan is my favorite track. It is for me. Winning at Michigan is more important than winning at Daytona. How everybody considers Daytona the Great American Race and
Yeah.
the Super Bowl of NASCAR. Michigan for me is the Super Bowl. And go ahead, Kevin. I see you want to say something.
I just want to point out we didn't know it was Michigan when we brought him on this week. So
That's
that
the
timing
only.
is
I mean,
incredible.
it's like the only Super Bowl that Michigan has because Detroit Lions suck.
Hey. In all fairness, we were the hottest team at the end of last year, and y'all better watch out this year. This team is dangerous this year.
Starting
So
to sound like a Cowboys fan.
Hold on,
Detroit's a pretty good
is
hockey
Jared Goff still the starting QB?
dude, at the end of last year, he put up MVP numbers, man. Y'all go look at the stats. We were like 1-6 going into our break, our off week, and then we came back and finished, and we were 9-8. Should have been in the playoffs if Seattle doesn't sneak in.
I've got some news for you though, Travis. The Cowboys have already been eliminated from the playoffs, so you're good.
That's
Let's
good,
go.
So Michigan is my favorite track because of the experiences that I've had there, how many laps I've rode around. I've ridden around on a freaking on a front bulldozer, and it's true. If you go around turn 3 and 4 and you let go of the steering wheel, it will take you right down pit road. That is, if you've ever heard anybody say that, that is a correct statement. It doesn't matter what vehicle you're in, even in a bulldozer, it'll take you right down pit road.
Cool.
But other than that, it's Bristol. Bristol is my next
Oh.
favorite. So
Okay.
if we
So-
have a charity race, I'm gonna suggest Bristol, but I would prefer to have it out of a track that we don't have scheduled in our scheduled races.
I was just gonna ask you if we can
Kentucky.
pencil in. I was just gonna say, can we pencil in Michigan
that.
as the charity race? But we can go.
Chicagoland.
Fuck.
I
Kentucky.
think for a Veta track with like what it represents and everything, we have to have a short track race. It's got to be 3/4 mile or below.
5 flags. Let's go.
I would like to do a short track race like that we never go to.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be the most tempered flares charity race.
Oh yeah. No, that's not true, Nick, and you know it.
No, you put on car
Oh.
healing.
Hey,
You just let it go.
I hate
Dude,
to
that's
say
not
it,
a bad
but
idea.
let's
Yeah.
put 40 cars at South Boston, next gen cars.
Hey, now sign me up.
Are you sure you don't want to do the figure 8?
Hey, that would be interesting. I mean, because if you look at Veta track and what we go through, I mean, it's survival of the fittest in reality.
Could you imagine the next gens if we did the figure 8 with the jump? Oh, the
Could you imagine
suspension
if
would
we did figure
die.
eight on
you have to do it
motorcycles?
with the jump.
The suspension would die.
Just
I
what
say-
Trevor
Suspension.
said, auto healing. We'll be fine. You two take the jump. 5 seconds later, you're good to go. Just keep driving.
Make,
The only
make
problem with that is when you end up upside down, you ain't coming back.
That's
No, you just
true.
ask someone to hit you to turn you over.
make,
Oh, yeah.
instead of making the charity race a lap race, making it like an enduro race.
1 hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a time-limit
An hour
enduro.
figure 8 race. The one with the most laps
Oh,
wins.
We'll be like, oh, God, at the end of that, your arms will be
Dude,
messed
they're
up.
hurting.
Son.
Honestly, I love the idea without the jumps. The jumps is the only thing that
Yeah,
hurts that
fuck
for
it.
me.
No jumps. Let's just run into each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that way,
I mean,
it's a perfect end of the season
Oh.
opportunity to take out all your gripes with people.
that
Like,
means Travis can then wreck Rob all he wants.
That's
And
the
Oh
then
my
point.
God.
And
Yeah, I
win
feel
for
like-
everybody.
I don't know. I feel like hosting a charity event and then allowing everybody to take out their season-long frustrations probably not going to be the best of ideas.
why not?
I'd pay for
That's
that.
a good
I'm just,
idea.
I'm just saying.
Would you want to pay for that? A season
Hey,
where
Pat,
We
Patrick's
should
gonna
make it a
have
pay-per-view
courage to
for
cuss
like
people out.
UFC.
Patrick's gonna have the you know how like when you're in the replays you can change it to crashes on. He's gonna have it pinned to
Yeah.
crashes on. It's gonna be like blinking lights. Just
Yeah.
back to forth.
Yeah.
we'll call it the
You have to
Veta
put,
Track
you
Royal
have to put an
Rumble.
epilepsy warning on the video before he goes live.
What are you gonna call it,
I-
Travis?
The Veta Track Royal Rumble.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
You know, does
Hell
everyone
yeah.
here have Wreckfest? Should we just do it over there?
Jeez. It's the only
Well,
like, console game I have left, I think.
I
It's on
appreciate you
PC.
guys for like you guys are fun because like we got serious there and talking about Carlo definitely like brought some flashbacks and stuff back. But I appreciate you guys being fun and everything, and we can have jokes and stuff, and
Yeah, dude.
that's what the camaraderie of the Vetatrack's for. Like what you guys have going on here, and how we can move on, and that's what it's all about, guys. And yeah, I would love the charity event to be named like Vetatrack Royal Rumble or Vetatrack Throwdown or something where like
We'll figure it out.
yeah, like
Yeah.
All right, yeah. I mean, well, then let's get on to the. Is there anything you change about RR other than Nick's obsessive behavior with doing the
Wait.
with the laps,
Wait.
the choose
Wait.
code?
Nick, no.
Wait.
No,
yes.
no.
You're
no,
not allowed
no.
to talk to his
No,
mother.
this is the point.
No,
yeah.
not talking
No,
about his mother.
no, that's not what he was gonna say.
God.
No,
bless.
he's gonna ask him about the fucking carriage.
Travis,
Yes, he
what do
is.
you,
Oh,
what do you,
no.
what do you call the thing that you go to the grocery store and you push with 2 wheels? What do you call it?
It's got 4 wheels.
And you put your groceries in it.
Oh, how many
If
wheels?
it's
It's
got
a-
2 wheels, it's
it's-
called a bicycle.
Oh,
it's called a
Nick.
grocery cart where I'm from.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
God.
I'd like to
It's not
put a
where you're
stop-
from. It's fucking everywhere except for Nick's
Yeah,
brain.
I'd like to
Yeah.
put a stop to this, that we no longer ask that question on this fucking podcast.
I mean, you
Could've
guys,
been
I will ask that question. You guys don't have to.
Like I think one of you admins just have to like mute him, right? Right when you see his face go, and he
Yeah,
gets all
right.
fucking excited.
He remembers
you
he's
just
gotta ask.
yeah,
Yeah.
you just gotta mute him real
Server
quick.
mute.
Yeah, but anyways, is
just
the
every time he goes to talk, I'm just gonna play a soundboard clip over it.
To
Oh, you
answer
can do
your
that,
question,
yeah.
Michael,
go ahead.
I love why and how RR is becoming more like in real life NASCAR with the rules and everything. However, I hate the iRacing part of it that gets like my teammate Kevin getting disqualified and losing the Atlanta race. Sure, one teammate benefited, but I absolutely hated and disagreed vehemently to the point that it made me sick to my stomach that he lost it because of an iRacing situation, the coding and the ruling and everything. And I get it. I love RR because I want things to be as real as in real life as possible. And that frustrated me because he got screwed because of an iRacing coding AI situation, whereas in real life he would have been allowed to pit and he would have never lost that position. He would have never got that win taken away from him, whereas Justice on the other hand benefited, and I'm cool with it. I just, when we were talking about it in the Discord, it was the inconsistencies with the in real life racing versus iRacing. It creates some situations that I don't agree with, and I get the admin team. I respect them and they do their most diligent to make the right calls and everything. I just hate how in real life racing gets mixed up with the iRacing coding and how it interferes and it's cost one person and benefited another in some scenarios. That's just what that's what
If
I
it makes
stand.
you feel better after last week's race, there's no way I don't make it into the playoffs. So
So
There's
other than that, I think RR is one of the better leagues out here. Yeah, there's personality clashes. There's I'm sorry, but y'all been in an A fixed race lately? Hell.
Oh my God, dude.
There-
Yeah.
I was in
me-
one before this started, and yeah, it was.
oh, that's why you were late.
Yeah.
Me and Justice were in an NIS race at Richmond. I started
Oh
at
my
the back
God.
and literally got taken out by people who have no respect. You can't go 3 wide after they're already 2 wide going into the corner. But what I'm getting here is you're always going to have personality conflicts. So you can't give a negative to a league because there's personality conflicts. Look at NASCAR. Look at Paul Tracy got suspended from the SRX series because
He deserved it. God.
Wait,
I
he
mean-
did?
Yeah,
didn't
he's
get
he's
why.
indefinitely suspended.
he
Is
was
this-
a
Oh,
he,
I
Thank
missed
God he didn't
something.
race. Yeah, thank God he didn't race last night at Berlin. Somebody would have hit a fucking tree on the backstretch.
Ken
Oh
Schrader
my
made
God.
it. He made it quite clear. It was a personality conflict. He was never going to race again with Paul Tracy. It was a conflicting personality.
If
His-
Ken Schrader's mad at you, you have really effed up.
Absolutely agree, and that's why I
Yeah.
can never give any league a detriment for hard racing for personality conflicts. And that's one thing I would give a negative mark to NASCAR. They don't have enough conflicts. They don't have enough rivalries. I think RR is great. We have so many
They got
different
Ross
rivalries.
Chastain versus everyone else.
Yeah, but that's not enough. It's
Not
just-
anymore because the cars aren't competitive. It's like
Oh, you're right.
Trackhouse went off the rails. So
think about it back in the early 90s and even before that. There was a rivalry for every position that was being battled. And that's the way
You're
I
not
feel.
wrong.
That's the way I feel about it in RR. I have a damn rivalry with the next person in front of me, if we're being honest.
Is that
I
just
don't
you
like-
though, or is that all of us?
That's all
That's
of
all of
us.
us.
That's all of us. That's why I'm saying I love
I'll
it.
tell you what I'd like to seen was Pete Kyle Busch on RCR. Like Kyle Busch, where he's at now at RCR, he's not as feisty. If we had like 28-year-old Kyle Busch at RCR when Richard still wanted to fight all the time, that would have been the best like 8 or 10 years of NASCAR. Period.
I gotta say though, Kyle Busch is the best driver that has been in that car in years, and I'm not a Kyle Busch fan. But since he's been in that car, I think I'm starting to come around.
It
I'm
also
happy with
helps.
that move.
It
Tyler
also
Reddick-
helps that Randall stayed instead of leaving with Tyler, because Randall is
Yeah.
probably one of the top 5 crew chiefs.
Tyler
he's
Reddick
good.
would have been last year's champion if they wouldn't have had so many car failures. Or
You mean if
just,
Tyler Reddick wasn't driving? Yeah.
well, but I mean that car was the best car last year with Tyler Reddick in it. And
Mhm.
honestly, I think Tyler went to a downgraded situation at 2311, whereas Kyle upgraded when he left JGR because he was getting booted. One of them was getting booted, and Kyle was the one that got booted because of the Ty Gibbs situation. So, and he went to the 8 car, and honestly, I think he benefited over Tyler Reddick. Stats prove them, I mean, 2311 is not the same without Kurt Busch behind the wheel.
No, it's not. It's really not.
It helps them significantly, though, that he didn't just completely split out either.
Yeah,
The fact
is
that he's still around helps them a ton.
Yeah, he's got a lot of insight to have his brain to help them out, to give advice, to look at things and be that analytical mind that he always has been. Granted, he was not the best driver over his career, but the way he analyzed things and understood things, like that's the old school mindset. Like just like when you're talking to Ryan Newman, he understood the mechanics of the car. He knew, okay, it's doing this, we need to do this to fix it. Kurt Busch is the same way about that. So having him around is, yeah.
So is Kyle, and people don't give Kyle the credit for that. Both
That's
of the
because
Busch
Kyle
brothers.
was too loud for too long.
Right, but Kyle knows a lot about the car. It's incredible if you
He
listen
really
to him
does.
talk about it.
Kyle
I
Busch.
give him credit for that. Yeah.
Kyle got a bad name because of who he was racing against at the time, which was Dale Jr. after the loss of Dale Sr. And then,
I thought he got a bad name for wrecking that guy in the truck series.
well,
I don't know. It was for wrecking Dale Jr. at
at
Richmond.
Richmond,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that's what screwed Kyle the
That didn't
most.
help.
When he came through, honestly, he was good for the sport. I mean, the more people that cause conflict that bring attention to the sport are the good ones. Like I never liked Jimmy Johnson because he was just too bland, and that he freaking cheated every week, and they got away.
You
with it.
mean Chase Elliott before Chase Elliott came along?
That was
Yeah,
Lando.
It's just their MO.
And I just don't like the guy who doesn't want to ruffle feathers and then get behind the mic and speak how it is. Tell me how you really feel. Don't sum it up for your sponsors and all that PC bullshit. I want to hear your true feelings because
So
otherwise,
you loved the in-car audio of Joey at Pocono then.
exactly. Like I love the guys that get fired up. I mean, even when we are racing and I hear the conflict coming across the radio, I chuckle in Discord because I love it. It's
So
awesome.
you hate Nick saying, guys, get off of the race comms. You actually hate that?
Yeah, because I want people to be people.
Does Blake. Blake told me earlier today, fuck Nick. I'm tired of him stopping the car. Let him argue. I'm like, yeah, exactly.
If I was running a league, I would put no restrictions on people in the chats or anything because I want you to be who you are. I wouldn't put no restrictions on racing either. If you wreck people, see, I have this philosophy: what comes around goes around. Karma is a you know what, so it's a
Yeah,
dish
Trevor.
best sold cold. So if you want to keep wrecking somebody, okay. Eventually, you have to realize you're going to get stuffed in the fence and you better not say a word about it. You better just take it and eat it like you've expected everybody else to do.
Oh, you mean
are you
unlike
like,
Denny Hamlin?
So
Got
are you-
it.
are
So
you
you
like-
hate Denny then?
are you like Wayne Lowe when you grab a box of popcorn and just read the bitch box every Wednesday night?
No, I
Less
don't.
emojis involved.
If
less
you've
pandas.
noticed, if you notice, I don't come to the Discord chat unless it involves my teammates because I'm
Gotcha.
loyal like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
I don't I see what's going on, but you guys know I don't really respond too much in the Discord. But when I come to the Discord, it's mostly in defense of one of my teammates,
Yeah.
not
He's
even
around here
myself.
about as often as Trevor is.
I don't even
probably more
Yeah.
often than Trevor at that. Really.
Oh, I've been
I don't
active
even
all day
def-
today.
I don't even defend myself like I defend my teammates. And well, I went through this with my driver that I work for, Bruce Clay, in the Dorf car in the MCR Dorf car series. There's a situation that happened at Kalamazoo Speedway, and literally, like, he told our friends about it. He's like, Travis stuck up for me. He was willing to fight for me. Like, you should have seen him. Like, he was more passionate than he was if he was the one in the situation. And that's that loyalty, that camaraderie that comes with it, man. Listen, I'm a team person. If you're going into a fight, I'm going into a fight. You know, that's just the way it is. If you need someone to have your six, I'm the one to have your six, man. Like, you know,
I don't know. You're the one that wrecked me a few weeks ago.
Hey, that was listen. I hate that it happened, but if you watch a lot of my replays, people hit the wall and bounce off to the side of my car, and that's what the angle that Justice was going at Atlanta. I swear to God, he was gonna bounce off the wall, and he was going to right door me into the wall. So I was trying to give as much space, but I didn't realize the 58 was on your inside and was coming back up. If I would have known,
I know it.
because the worst thing ever is to wreck one of your teammates. I'd much rather, me and Rob talked about this. I owe him a couple, but hell, if you watch the Richmond race, I didn't even give him a hard time fighting for the lead because I was situational. I was points racing. I'm trying to get to the 16th, and if I can't win a race, I want to finish top 3, top 5. So
You can wreck him at Phoenix.
no,
Yeah, perfect.
even in real life, I'd much rather fight you than wreck you with a race car. You can cause people serious harm with the race car. I know iRacing's obviously different. You're not going to cause nobody harm physically.
Thankfully.
But
And we don't have to pay to fix it either.
Hey, he has a butt kicker. You might cause him some harm physically.
in real life,
Yeah, then with these direct drive wheels, you could really break someone's thumbs.
in real life, if you have a problem with somebody at the short track, instead
Nice
of you,
face.
yeah, well, you break their ribs or their foot and they can't show up to the racetrack, right? Or they're racing in a lot of pain. Eventually, they're going to get it. If you keep wrecking my race car and I keep having to fix it and it keeps costing me money, well, your ribs, I'm not even going to hit you in the face. You're breaking your ribs and your foot, teaching them a lesson that they're going to learn. That's more important. See, most people, and I'm all for the
That
NASCAR.
what happened to Teddy, broke his foot.
Listen, I love Noah Gregson. I'm not a Noah Gregson fan other than when he's ready to fight people outside the race car. Like he's
like 0 for 3 right now.
Well,
No, he's not a good fighter. He's not a good driver, but I like his spunk.
in all fairness, the Ross Chastain, his punch got eaten by that black guy. That was not fair, and I'm so not for that. Race car drive. Okay, I think NASCAR needs, and I've been promoting this, and I think the local short tracks need this. They need a boxing ring at the racetrack that they put out after the end of the race. And
they need to do like hockey. Just let them go. Take the gloves off. They both
Get to the ground, pick them up. But other than that, let them go.
So in real life, when we go to the racetrack, we have a rule. The driver takes care of his situations. The team, people in the pits that are working with the team, you stay out of it. The only time you get in it is if you see another team member get in it and is jumping your guy. Otherwise, it's the drivers that handle it. And I would like to see that go on with NASCAR. The problem is all them guys are 5 foot nothing and weigh as much as Danica Patrick, and none of them are fighters. So,
oh man,
they need
Nick's also 5 foot nothing. So make fun of Nick.
I am 5'8", 140, soaking wet.
Like, think of 1979. NASCAR became famous because of the Donnie Allison, Bobby Allison, and the Cale Yarborough going to beating, helmets off of people's face and all that stuff. That's the kind of person I am. That's what I represent. And
Why
that's
do you think I'm a big fan of Tony Stewart?
Until he's picking on reporters who, I'm not a fan of that. Like, come pick on me. That's my mentality. That's why I never liked Tony Stewart. Is like, come try that with me, man. Let's see if you're gonna push me around. Jimmy Spencer. You won't see a Jimmy Spencer in a race car no more because one, he's too fat and they don't build the race cars.
He can't fit in the window.
That was almost Tony Stewart.
They
He's
want
getting there.
they want go-kart drivers so that all the cars can be set up the same. But Jimmy Spencer, when he punched Kurt Busch in the face, that's the embodiment of what NASCAR and local short track racing was supposed to be about. And NASCAR has taken that out of it. And then when you see team members or security bodyguards that prevent another person from fighting, like I watched that. I love that Ross Chastain punched Noah Gragson in the face, but I absolutely hated that Noah Gregson's punch got ate by that black guy sitting there, and he protected Ross Chastain. Like Noah, I think Noah would beat Ross Chastain's ass all day long, but that guy standing there was much bigger than him. He ate his punch with his hand, like he just totally stopped it, But the guy's like what 6'6", 260 pounds, So I'm not for that. I wish team members would get the hell out of the way and let the drivers take care of it. Only thing you do is you just surround them and make sure that nobody else gets involved in it. I think the sport would change and how people race each other would change if that was.
I hope you're listening, NASCAR.
I hope NASCAR is listening too, because I mean, I want NASCAR to go back to what its roots were. They're going away from it. And that's what I love about RR. It's called Racing Revolution. I love the revolution part of it. We race each other hard. We give each other shit. We cuss each other out at times. However, look at us. You guys hold these podcasts. We come in, we have fun, we chill, talk about what we each represent, what's going on. I mean, honestly, in RR, your next rival is the guy in front of you, and that's probably one of your slogans you guys should come up with.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a
I
good
think our
idea.
slogan should be "Your next rival is Justice Murphy, always and all the time."
Facts.
That's funny because I thought it would always be your next rival is Kevin Orlando.
I'm too slow to be your rival. Let's be honest.
Yeah, right. You're one of the hardest people to pass, especially when you're teammates. If I wasn't your teammate, I'd be more inclined to use you up a little bit.
Listen, I had to punt one of mine yesterday, or Wednesday.
So when this thing comes out, Nick, when are we releasing this one?
This is gonna be.
Is this going to be
a
for the
week-
off week?
This is gonna be a week from today. Will be released. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this instead of doing it next Thursday, this one will get released.
Yes.
Yeah. For it.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So do we want to go through real quick because we're at like an hour and 15 minutes or something.
It's
Do we
been a
want to
good.
go through?
Who cares if it's
It has
long?
it has been. I know. I got a job to do though, right? Do we want to go through and talk about Watkins Glen and just give some pick our drivers and predictions, or
Oh, you know what we
or
should
no?
because the week of the off week we're doing the roasting one, so I don't think we're probably gonna get into that. So we can do that since we're gonna have since we have Travis here. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that way we can do it. So Travis, if you listen to the podcast on the end, what we do where we pick drivers and stuff.
Yep, sure do. I've followed
Okay.
you guys.
Okay, dope. Well, you're the guest. If anybody else is listening who hasn't done it before, we're gonna go through. We're gonna pick somebody who we think is a good favorite, or somebody that we think is gonna win at Watkins Glen, and then we're gonna pick a underdog or somebody who we think could have a chance that may upset somebody. So Travis, you got first pick.
All right, I appreciate that. Well, obviously, you got Jeremy Burns, you got your road ringers, you got Justice himself, Rob's he improved big time over at the Chicago Street Course. So I think you got your typical guys that you have to watch. So that's for the who to watch. Trevor Earhart's been pretty consistent. So when he doesn't make mistakes, same as us.
Who's your pick? Who do you think's gonna win it?
I
Pick
hate
one.
Jeremy Burns. Unfortunately, I'm sick of people picking him, man. I hate to. I want to win more than I want to lose, so I'd like to win. So if I don't win, then I want to pick a winner. So, and Jeremy seems to just be. He got screwed over at the Chicago Street Race situation. Otherwise, I think he might have been one of the contenders. Way down a lap that I think might have went to the pro. Might have been up there with the pros at Chicago. So,
Who's your underdog?
my underdog. Honestly, I'm gonna have to say Kevin Orlando.
Oh,
Yeah, I've
That's
been
a
seeing
long
it.
shot.
That
Yeah.
well,
Long shot.
Long shot.
you realize I have no wins
Way
in 3
back.
seasons, right?
that's okay.
Hey,
because, I
according
mean,
to SRH, you got 2 this year.
Thanks,
I've-
Justice.
You're
I've
welcome.
seen it and had to race you as my teammate. You get to partake in our sessions with us, our practice sessions. And compared to where you were last year, compared to this year, you were at best maybe a bottom of the top 10 drivers last year. And now you're a top 5 driver competing every
Am I,
weekend.
though?
So Yeah, I mean,
I
I
don't
like
feel like it
from what
You
I
are
can
at number
see.
6 right now in the standings with drops.
with no wins.
So I mean, that pretty much backs up my. I haven't even looked at that stuff, so I'm just based. I analyze everything, obviously. So I think, yeah, he's my.
You know, I'll take it because Watkins Glen is for much. I consider Pocono my home track, but Watkins Glen is the only track in New York, and that's where I'm at. So I'll take it.
I'd like to go with Trevor Keith, but he's in his head too much right now, so he needs to find a way to.
Tell him that.
Well,
Tell
if he hears the podcast, he'll hear it. So
Well, tell him to watch the podcast.
Well, Kevin,
yeah, go ahead.
oh, go ahead, Travis.
Oh, I was just gonna say I don't like to pick teammates, but I race these guys and I see the potential. So on road courses, Kevin has gotten significantly better.
Well, Kevin, how about you go next?
I got to do better at the S's if that's the case. But coming to road courses, again, usually it's hard to pick an underdog, but I've been thinking about it, and I don't know whether to consider this guy my main choice or my underdog, but I'm gonna go for him as my main choice. And for Watkins Glen, I really got to go with Parker Johnson. He has shown that road courses are kind of his strong suit. And the past few weeks, while his finishes haven't been great, he's been in the mix in the race. He's been fast. He's gotten better at conserving his tires. I know we call him Tire Slayer, but he's been getting better at that. And with what I've seen at road courses in the past, I think if he gets the opportunity, he's a real threat at Watkins Glen. You know, it's probably, apart from, I know he really likes Road Atlanta. I think it's
Road America.
that's the one. That's the
Very
one. Yeah,
close.
they same
Yeah,
shit.
very
Road
close.
Atlanta, Road America, Atlanta's in America. We'll get there.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, but
Who's your underdog?
underdog. That's a harder one. Can I skip this week?
No,
Yeah, pick
absolutely
No.
not. What the fuck kind of
All right.
question is that?
Well, you know what? With underdog, I'm gonna have to go with Holloway because he has improved tenfold over the past few weeks. And every time I look at him, he's getting better and better. And like I said, every week it's hard to choose an underdog because there's real no underdogs in this league. But out of people who I think are really under appreciated in the league, who people don't expect to do well, I think Holloway's got a real shot at it.
All right, Nicholas.
Thank you, Michael. I'll be going next. We'll use the
Don't
first
call
names
me.
here.
Don't
Don't
call
need
me.
to call me
Don't
Nicholas.
Oh,
No.
Nicholas!
So my favorite was gonna, if you guys just gonna give us layups, appreciate that. So we're gonna go with Justice Murphy. Obviously, top 3 road course driver over here.
He's ass at road courses. What are you talking about, dude?
Yeah. He hasn't won one this year, so must be ass.
Good point. Great point.
Mickey Mouse last year, that's what it was.
Yeah.
For an underdog, I mean, we got a bunch of guys that we know that aren't really good at road courses, but let me go with, I'm gonna go with a guy that's really good on ovals, but it's not really that great on road courses. I'm gonna go with James Loveland.
Son of a bitch,
Alright.
dude. You and Kevin both have taken my 2 picks.
I'm sorry.
What was
Alright.
Parker your other pick?
Well,
He was
Yeah,
gonna pick his 2 teammates
yeah.
apparently.
awesome. Well, let's let Justice go next so we can piss him off some more. Go ahead.
All right. So, hey, I'm going to make it even better for him because I'm going to take the next guy that you would consider for a road course win. The guy who
Keith?
has a Watkins Glen win in the league, Mr. Rob Rader. He was very good there in the Xfinity car, although obviously this car drives completely different. But
God.
it's just a course where he's got a good feel. So I think Rob's got a really good chance. I actually, to really fuck you up, Nick, I told y'all's other teammate that actually talks to me that I thought my top 2 streak at the road courses probably come to an end at the Glen. It's not my best road course. It's probably my worst, honestly. But yeah, so we'll give it a shot. But yeah, I think Rob probably has got a real good chance. As for an underdog, I'm going to take Michelle in the 14 car.
Oh,
They're
Ooh.
fucked.
all right. I don't know who Michelle is, but they're riding in my car.
It's a real good looking
But
dude.
we don't
Great
we don't
teammate.
gotta wait for the Vet to Track Royal Rumble at the end of the year. We got some throwdowns going on right
Oh,
now.
trust
I'm
me,
not
this
gonna throw
happens.
punches.
This happens every night in BDE.
Uh,
the
Yeah, it
Discord.
does.
Yeah, it's just talking shit. All right, Trevor, I'll go
you know,
last.
well, I'm gonna go with Caleb is my winner. He's equally as quick on most road courses, so I think he'll run good. And then Justice, I'm gonna take your teammate. I'm gonna take Jacob.
Love it.
God damn it.
That's a good call.
I think-
I
I
don't
think
think
he's
he's
gonna
an underdog,
Hey,
but that's a good call.
listen,
That's who I
Bennett,
was.
you know what you have to do here for your winner. You know who not to pick for your main
Oh no,
winner.
no, I have something great for this.
I love
Tynan
it.
Jones.
But I
Yes.
was wanting to do the 18 for my
Your winner.
for
Yeah.
my winner. Yeah. So this is what did you? Yeah, you got both of them in. Okay, yeah. So who I'm gonna go with? I'm gonna go with my teammate, Alex Forget, for my main winner. He is constantly up there in all of the road course races. He steps on his toe, or one of his teammates just tells him congratulations in a practice session, and he wrecks. So we don't have to get back too far into it. For my underdog winner, I'm going to go with somebody who I don't think has ever been called an underdog winner. And it's because I feel they're getting slower and slower, and I'm getting faster and faster, and I
love
think
this.
I can beat them. I'm going to go with the number 21 car.
I fucking
Trevor
love this.
Earhart.
I fucking love this as a road course underdog. Love it.
I'm going to go
Oh,
with the number 21. I think you can
We
really
have to
surprise
sit
us,
on
Baldy.
this. We have to sit on this for a week. We can't let anybody know that
Oh,
was
I
the
know.
fucking underdog pick.
I don't know.
Oh my god!
As soon as he took Jacob, I was like, all right, fuck, I'll still get him. But
dude, I'm doing nothing but practicing.
dude,
For like
I love
10
it.
today, I'm just fuck it.
I am determined to make sure that you miss the bus stop at least once.
Well, if it's anything like the
Oh.
GT3 race we were in, you don't have to worry about it. He'll do it on his own.
Yeah, I'll intent wreck somebody for him
Weren't you the
anyway.
one that ended up on the tires at Daytona in the 24 hours?
No,
Cheers.
no.
No, that wasn't you?
No,
No.
he did. He did wreck us twice in that race. Yes,
Hey, no.
we would have won the. We would have won the race.
No, we would have won had Jacob not fallen asleep out of turn 2.
We would have
That's
won
a
the
great
race had
point.
Trevor
Forgot
not
about that.
wrecked the car coming off
forgot
of pit
about that.
road.
I wouldn't have had to drive if that had happened. Well, all right. Anyways, yeah, we're not gonna release this till next week. And Trevor, don't you go fucking tell anybody that just happened just yet. So act like this didn't happen. Nothing. I forgot to do this at the beginning, but this podcast is made possible by our wonderful sponsors, Chapman Environmental Services, Ultimate Siding and Gutters, Butt Kicker, and of course Patrick and the guys over at Simtrax Broadcasting, who do an amazing job, really elevate our the experience of coming into our arc. I didn't hear the soundboard, but I saw the Pikachu, so hopefully
It
that
said
lined up.
wow in
Oh, okay. It looked like
wow.
a Pikachu. Okay. All right. Let's not do that. Anyways, go check out our the website. Do we want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Nick.
Really quick. Well, actually,
Yeah, you want-
we'll throw the website down here in the link when we release.
Let's
this podcast.
let's make sure we put the Vet to Track store and the website
Oh, that's
for us.
cool. Yeah, I can add
in,
that.
Yep. Put that
Yeah,
in the
actually,
in the
Travis,
link.
if you don't mind, if you want to send me any links that you have to Vet to Track,
This
just-
goes on YouTube, right?
yes,
Yep.
it does.
Like
you,
and subscribe.
you can send that to me, and I'll make sure we have it on the website. So
Like
currently,
the video.
Currently, our website is Racing Revolution, iRacing.GoDaddy.com. It's soon to be just Racing Revolution, iRacing.com. As soon as our domain name gets approved, which apparently it takes like 36 hours for that to happen, so that's fine. But yes, we have a website. We have all our socials linked there. So without going into further ado and linking everything, everything that we have,
You
we
should
can do it all
link
at once.
everything.
Well,
you
no, I
should
do.
link everything at the end of the podcast too.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I'm
don't
saying
forget
instead
the
of
bell icon.
instead of doing like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, podcast, we can just do website and it has everything on it. Actually, the website.
Oh, this
the-
is like one of
the-
those things when you click on that sexy girl's link and it takes you to the whole thing.
Yes.
OnlyFans.
Oh, okay.
The cool thing about our website, it actually will
It's Linktree?
update. Yes. So the cool thing about the website is it'll actually update the latest episode of the podcast, and you can actually listen to it right on the website. And or if you want, you can download it, and it'll send you to where you can download the podcast as well to listen whenever
How
you
much
want.
did you pay for that?
It's none of your business.
We don't need old ritualist over here to
Ritualist,
talk about the
yeah.
whole prices or anything, dude.
I was at
Um,
work
Do we have
today.
the budget for that?
I was at work today. I'm like, damn, what the fuck was the name that Bennett kept calling me last night? And I'm thinking of it at work. I'm like, what, Money Nicholas? I'm like, I had no idea what it was, but thanks for reminding me.
You went Lickless?
Lickless.
That's where
Lickless.
you went? You went
That's
with
what
the L?
you thought, yeah.
That's taking an L right there, bud. That's
Anyway,
terrible. Ritualist. Anyways, Travis, thanks so much for coming on, man. Thanks for talking about Vet to Track and opening up with us a little bit and kind of hanging out with us for a little bit. Really appreciate you being here. And thanks for being patient.
Oh, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for giving me the platform to be able to get Vet to Track out there. And with that being said, I'd like to thank Jim Whittam for starting the Vet to Track. And you guys can go check out him on Facebook, Vet to Track, Twitter, all that stuff, you know. Reach out to him. If you guys have any questions, also, you guys don't have to go through me. Go reach out to Jim. Jim's a really good guy. And if you guys want to do anything through his organization moving forth, and this goes for anybody who's listening to it, go get on the Vet to Track website or Facebook or Twitter. He's got his contact info out there, and he's always looking to expand it. So appreciate you guys for giving us this platform.
Well,
How do you
for
spell
sure.
that last
Travis.
name? Jim Whit. It's
Yeah,
Whittam. WHITTUM.
I'll say just
Yep.
send that text that information over to Nick and he can post it on the podcast, the link and the website and all that kind of stuff. That way people can that way all the spelling's right and we don't have, Nick, Mr. I don't proofread my messages before I send out social media
Facts.
stuff.
I
Try and
don't
take care of
proofread them
it.
either. If you're in my Discord ever, you'll see like me edit a message maybe even like 5 times.
If you could see our Facebook and Instagram posts,
Oh
you'll
my
notice that
God.
all of them are edited.
Every
Yeah,
single one of
every
them.
one of
And
them.
half the time he doesn't notice till about 2 hours later when one of us reads
And
through it.
half the time he edits it and it's still wrong. So
Yeah.
Same. Nick, you're not alone, brother. I'm here with you, man.
Thanks, buddy.
I blame it's the PTSD, man.
I don't have that excuse.
Nick, I was gonna say I don't think Nick has that excuse.
You have
Oh.
Racing Revolution PTSD.
There you go. Yeah, with all these jamokes
sixth
all around
place.
us.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, this has been a good one. Yeah, Travis, thanks for coming on. Boys, thanks for joining, and we'll see you guys later.
Thanks, everybody.
Hi guys.
Peace.